There's a lot to say about this show tonight when it comes into Bound for Glory, and there's a lot of mixed opinions tonight on the show to what I've seen, and we're gonna get into the ending because that was probably one of the biggest things to talk about tonight, and I've really got a lot to say about that. But first I want to get a few things out the way before getting in this review. Number one, Bound for Glory was better than last year's Bound for Glory. Let's get that kind of out the way right now, okay? Because last year's Bound for Glory was horrible, okay? It was very bad. It was very overbooked. And it was still under that GFW reign with Jeff Jarrett at the time. This year, I thought it was a very, very good show. It was very solid. I'm going to go on a limb and say Slammiversary was better back in July. I will say that. I think Slammiversary was a better show, but I still did enjoy the show at the same time for Impact Wrestling tonight to what they did for Bound for Glory. Because it is their biggest show of the year, as usual. But there are many opinions, what I have to say. I got some thoughts on this show tonight, but I really did enjoy this pay-per-view in general. I did like a lot of the matches. There's some things I did not like throughout here, but I really did enjoy the show itself in general. But getting through the cold open with LAX with a good narration thing, talking about tonight's pay-per-view, we kicked it off, which it was a pretty good tag match. Rich Swann and the Mac, or from Lucha Underground, or Willie Mac, or whatever you want to call him, going against Matt Sydal and All Ego Ethan Page. Pretty much a good tag match to kick off the show. I really did enjoy it. I wasn't sure how the crowd was going to go tonight, to be honest, because this is New York City at the Melrose Ballroom, but it was a really hot crowd as it got in, to later on in the show. I believe this is where they do, where is this? I think they do a lot of those MLW shows there, if I'm not mistaken. But coming into this show, this tag match, a really good tag match to open up the show, really. People with the Mac turn up the Mac, which kind of ended in a stunner on All Ego Ethan Page, and Rich Swann hitting a Phoenix Splash for the win on the Mac, pretty much picking up the win for his team. Really good match to kick off the show. I will say that Mac pretty much got on the mic then, pretty much says that everybody enjoyed that. And, he got his mic to work after it didn't work at first. But he talked about 2 empty seats in the front row. And whoever can make the loudest noise will get those 2 seats. Say we turned up in this bitch tonight. And, he was pretty much talking about the whole Comda thing. Because, that's their new sponsor right now is Comda. But, the Mac pretty much told everybody to enjoy the show then. After the match tonight with him and Swann. I would like to see the Mac more in Impact Wrestling, to be honest. I've seen him on Lucha Underground. We know the guy's really great there. And I thought he put on a really great match with Cody Rhodes recently for the NWA World title. But I would love to see him more on Impact Wrestling. I really would. I like the Mac. I think he's great. For a big guy, he's one of those big guys that moves like a freaking cruiserweight half the time. You just wouldn't expect a man his size to pull out moves like he does. But I really do like the Mac, and I hope to see more of him on Impact Wrestling. I really do. It will be really enjoyable. Somebody really needs to pick this guy up. I like him on Lucha Underground, but I want to see him on somewhere bigger too. But after that tag match, we then went to Eli Drake in his New York Open Challenge, which people immediately started chanting Y2J. Did I really think Chris Jericho was going to be on this show? I know there's been a lot of rumors out the weekend saying Jericho was going to show up tonight, but I really didn't think he was, to be honest. If he would, I'm sure he would have got probably the biggest reaction if you asked me, and the crowd would have went nuts, but I feel like it would have overbooked something tonight if he showed up. I know he said on Twitter he was watching the show from, they say he did buy the pay-per-view from wherever he was watching at, probably his home. I don't know where Jericho was at the time, but, we've seen Jericho show up in New Japan Pro Wrestling and All In and everything, and people probably expected him to show up tonight. I would have liked it if he did, but, Eli Drake's challenge was anyone from New York. He wanted someone from New York. And, he did kind of make fun of the New York Giants and their football team and everything, so they got a 1-5 record. But next thing you know, James Ellsworth came out, which the crowd did not like that, and started doing multiple delete chants then. James Ellsworth, he talked about New York and everything. He was happy to be here, but Drake said, are you even from New York? He says, not exactly, but I dated a girl from Staten Island. A lot of Carmelo references in this segment, I will say that. And, Ellsworth say he loves New York, and he didn't want to badmouth him it, but pretty much people in the New York crowd chanted, fuck you, Ellsworth, which was pretty hilarious, because even I didn't really want to see him go against Eli Drake, to be honest. And, he says, I say, obviously you're a fan favorite here. But, he started making fun of his chin and everything. Ellsworth said that Drake didn't have the balls and stuff. Ellsworth punched him. This match was pretty quick. Mostly everybody was like Eli Drake throughout this match, and didn't really give a crap about Ellsworth. He hit one gravy train, and then the crowd chanted one more time. One more time. He hit a second one, but then Drake got back on the mic. He says, I want someone from New York. I want to face someone the best, okay? A Hall of Fame material, top guy, champion, everything. Next thing you know, Abyss came out, which there's another guy that's not from New York, but let's bring him out anyway for a feel-good moment, I guess. Abyss going in, newly into the Impact Hall of Fame, which he deserves. The guy's been a vital part of the company, which you can really say he's like the first original Impact Wrestling star. Probably I'll say a homegrown talent that's actually in that Hall of Fame, because Gail Kim, I can't say Gail Kim really, because you're wrong. Gail Kim's been there for a very, very long time, but Abyss has really been there since the beginning of Impact in general. So he does deserve it. He pretty much did a black hole slam on Drake, and then he put him through a table, after Drake kicked him in the nuts and everything. So it was a feel-good moment. But I did like this segment, but I wish it could do more with Drake, which there's a guy they really do need to push, though, if you ask me. The guy is a really great heel. I know some people think he's more of like The Rock with some of the stuff he says, but a lot of people follow along, do the whole, yeah, dummy, fact of life thing with Eli Drake. So I think Drake is really good, though, and they really do need to start pushing this guy and having him do these, open challenge comedy segments to whatever he's doing right now. But I'm sure people did not really want to see James Ellsworth there, and there really was no New York person. There was no one from New York that was in this challenge, okay? Come on, even if Jericho showed up, it was only going to be for New Yorkers, and like I said, there was no Jericho here. But next thing you know, we went to Tessa Blanchard versus Taya Valkyrie for the Knockouts Championship, which was probably one of my favorite matches of the night, if you ask me. It was a little botchy at first. I will say Taya, I guess, had almost like some Bret Hart type of gear. Some people actually thought she looked like Natalya coming out tonight with the whole black and pink and everything. But this was a very, very great match. All right. The only biggest thing I did not like about this match was the whole referee spot when Tessa had the apron, and then the ref got distracted by it, and it looked like it took forever after Taya hit the Roll to Valhalla, and Tessa was able to still break out. I thought that referee spot looked really bad. Okay, it really did. Tessa then pretty much hit her hammerlock DDT. I think they called it the buzzsaw, but it did not work for a near fall in, and the crowd was really with it. Okay, there was a lot of Where I Loca chants. I did like the Tessa B ain't nothing to fuck with, almost like a Wu-Tang Clan, Wu-Tang ain't nothing to fuck with. But Tessa hit the Magnum, which was pretty much off the top rope, a code breaker really, which looked brutal, I will say that too. But she did pick up the win. I thought it was a very solid women's match. I thought it was one of the best matches of the night, if you ask me, and the crowd was into it. Yes, it was botchy a couple spots here and there, but this is probably one of my enjoyable matches of the night, watching the women here. And I really did enjoy this match. Even though this match, and let me just say, I kind of knew Tessa was going to win anyways, because, this match literally had no build. It really didn't, okay? It had no build into this, but I knew both women would go out there and put on a really great match and beat the living hell out of each other. That was one of my favorites. They then went to an interview with Mackenzie Mitchell and Moose, who was wearing a dashiki. Pretty much, it said it's fit for a king, and, one is fit for a queen, but he had Mackenzie's back ordered, and pretty much blew a kiss at her, I believe, as Mackenzie looked confused. But I didn't know what Moose was going for when he came out with a dashiki and everything. But hey man, Black Power, whatever, something. I didn't know where this was going, but heel Moose is great. Come on, because it was Moose versus Eddie Edwards next. Moose pretty much comes out with like 3 women out there, 2 at the entranceway and 1 escorting him out there. They all pretty much give him a kiss before letting Moose into the ring, and I do like his new theme song. But heel Moose is great, alright? Face Moose was dumb. Heel Moose is great. Eddie Edwards then came out with his kendo stick Kenny. This match didn't really go long as, Killer Cross came from the crowd, pretty much choking out Eddie Edwards then, which people thought he was low-key because, low-key always wrestled in a suit half the time nowadays. But next thing you know, Tommy Dreamer comes out, which for some reason I'm sure a lot of people saw coming, and he did help Eddie Edwards at one point anyways. But, it's New York, so he's got to be here. And, we got the ECW chant, and, there's a lot of psychos in New York, and he had his kendo stick with him. Pretty much Eddie Edwards his suicide dive, which the camera did not miss. They pretty much missed. And there was a thing they did have with what was it, Moose arguing with someone from the New York Giants, but the crowd, I think the camera missed that too, in some shoving match with them. But one thing I thought this was pretty nasty in this spot was what was it? Oh yeah, I think it was Tommy Dreamer had this drink, and he pretty much drank it, and then poured some almost like a bird feeding, almost like an animal, like a bird mom feeding its young, puts the drink in his mouth, and then swaps spit in a way, just dropping the drink into Edwards' mouth. Then, Edwards has the drink, spits it into, I think it was Moose's face. That looked disgusting, which the crowd even chanting, you sick fuck, after doing that. That did look disgusting. I can say that right now. I did not really like how that went. But, other than that spot from there, this was pretty much a brawl. I will say that. A lot of weapons, of course, get involved. I did like the whole Moose and Eddie Edwards, thing going at each other, hitting multiple moves. There was a lot of Moose and Eddie chants. I would really did like to see a one-on-one and having an impromptu tag team match, but all four of these guys did put a brawl out there. I did like that pop-up powerbomb Moose did. Looked brutal on Eddie Edwards. But, after Dreamer tried to come back with a kendo stick, and Cross took out Dreamer, then Edwards took out Cross. Moose had the kendo stick and was going to hit Eddie Edwards with, but Eddie had picked up the roll-up pin. Cross and Moose attacked Edwards after the match, pretty much hit him with a double power bomb on the apron, and leaving him in a heap, his body in a heap, pretty much dead out there. But still a good tag match, and the crowd went for it, and they were hot for it and everything. Because I say this crowd did get on fire all night. They really were. They did get better throughout the night, and I was liking the crowd a lot out here in New York. Next thing you know, it was OVE versus Brian Cage, Pentagon Jr. in Phoenix, which this match was so crazy, I can't even keep up with every spot in this match. Phoenix, this guy does so many crazy, innovative moves, I couldn't even tell what was out there he was doing. They had to do like a 619 to a cutter half the time. The most thing that was probably, this was going to end up on Botchamania, but when Pentagon had Phoenix on his shoulders and Jake Chris pretty much tried to do a cutter, it looked like he had the cutter, but he lost his grip on Phoenix's neck, and it looked like he let go too early, and it looked like Jake landed on his feet, which the crowd did with a "you fucked up" chant. Then after that, and I know the barricades were so close, but these guys are flying out of the ring like crazy. Come on, Cage did like a fallaway slam on Sami Callihan and throw him into everybody outside. Freaking, Phoenix just hit so many insane moves. I can't tell you what moves he hit. Same with Pentagon too. But I do like that monkey flip, like cannonball they did though. That was a very innovative move, I will say that. But Phoenix, man, that guy just comes up with so many crazy moves. It's crazy. But I think Pentagon got a pin driver on not Callahan, but it was one of the Chris brothers on the outside of the apron. But OVE was able to pretty much take out both Pentagon and Phoenix. Then, by God, it pushed Pentagon into that ramp. Just looked deadly, I will say that too. Callahan. It was pretty much Brian Cage left as he tried to go in on all three of these guys, but they pretty much started kicking the crap out of them. They hit the all-seeing eye, and then Callahan hit a pile driver on Cage for the win. As the announcer said, this was the first time that Cage has now been pinned. So does this give Sami Callihan an X Division title shot? One thing I will say I did not like was, yes, Brian Cage is the X Division champion, but the X Division champion should be the title itself should be defended, especially on your biggest show of the year, not being in a 6-man tag. I don't know where Cage really goes on with this X Division title, to be honest, because they really could have had an X Division title match, or at least some #1 contender spot or something, because Cage is just kind of holding that belt around right now, okay? Did I really think OVE was probably going to win? Maybe, because they don't have a lot of wins under their belts against, Pentagon and them. So, this was, excuse me. This was something I didn't really have a problem with. Maybe this continues the feud. I don't know. I really don't. But OVE picking up the win on Pentagon, Cage, and Phoenix here. This was not a bad match, alright? It was a freaking spot fest. It really was. These guys pretty much went to war out here with each other. And it was enjoyable, and people loved it. So, I'm not really mad at the match that much, but I just feel like the X Division title should be on the line at your biggest show of the year. But like I said, I can't keep up with every freaking spot on here because it was just all over the place. Austin Aries did an interview in the back, which I really did like, which he said, I came back when this company was on life support and everything when he returned. And, it was on its almost somewhat say on his deathbed in a way. And he said he's busted his ass to make this company and this title mean something again. And he says he's doing a pretty good job, he says. But then next, Johnny Impact pretty much walks his way in here, gets a title shot for literally no reason, and, thinks it just goes his way. Because, Aries has actually worked his way to make the company what it is right now. But he thinks that Impact is a liar, and, he doesn't want to, be here for the championship. He wants to go do stuff like Survivor and do his little Boone the Bounty Hunter thing and stuff. Because, this has been kind of personal over the past week. And, he said he doesn't trust Impact. He doesn't trust management and everything. And, he says, I was going to leave my guys in the back, crossing moves. But, I'm going to bring him out tonight because he wants things to change. And he even told Impact to bring his wife out. Which, in a way, Aries looked like the face out here if you almost kind of look at it with his promo. Because he has a point. What did Johnny Impact really do to even get a title shot? He pretty much came out one day after that whole Congo Con feud, and then he's automatically in the main event of Bound for Glory. Why? I don't even know why. He never did. He fought for it. He didn't win no type of match or some #1 contenders. He was just inserted in the main event for Bound for Glory for just whatever type of reason, to be honest. So Austin Aries made some very vital points out there when he was cutting that promo. Next thing you know was probably one of the most brutal matches of the night. The Concrete Jungle match with the OGs, King, Homicide, and Hernandez versus LAX, Ortiz, and Santana. Conan was taken out of the match early. Really, he was attacked, I guess, from the back during a point in the show when they went to a video package there. LAX came out with, I'm sorry if I don't remember the artist's name, but it was pretty much a whole squad of guys with like some army fatigues on. I think it was Bodega Mans, if I'm correct. I'm going to have to look his name up, or somebody tell me whoever was rapping out, with LAX for their musical performance. But I'm not going to lie, it was pretty good, I will say that too. But this match was brutal, okay? This was a very dangerous match. You had no turnbuckles. You took the mat off the apron. So this was just the wooden floorboards, people, okay? The wooden floorboards. And this was really tough. Come on, dude, Hernandez bled literally like 10 seconds of the match after he was taken out. Probably cut his head on, which was a lot of blood. And I will say one thing I did like about King, though, he was wearing that jersey, basketball jersey. If you've seen Above the Rim, you'll know what I'm talking about. Great movie. But this, like I said, this match was brutal, okay? Brutal with these floorboards, especially how they kept spacing out each other. You're lucky no one's foot or someone could have got caught into that, or someone could have went through it, really. But this was like dismantle of the entire ring, I will say that. Hernandez even picked up Homicide and threw into a border tosser to the outside then. Even hitting like a big shoulder block on Ortiz through one of the tables. King going to Santana then. But after Santana hit a dive outside on everybody, which once again his foot looked he almost got caught into one of the open spaces of that ring. Pretty much had going on. King says like, I'm gonna kill this motherfucker then. Next thing you know, King was kind of getting up in the hand. King was having like one of those slapjacks or something. Pretty much going on Santana. it was, I guess he's gonna put him through the table. Next thing you know, the LAX music hits. Conan comes out, brawling with King. He takes that little, slapjack thing with the bag and some weapon inside of it. Takes out Homicide, and Hernandez then goes after King and just starts brawling with him. Then starts hitting him with it. Pretty much put him through the table and telling LAX to pretty much hit their finisher, the street sweeper, or double blockbuster on King. Then pretty much picking up the win for LAX. But this was a brutal match. Let me get this straight. This match was a tough one. This was a brawl, and this was very risky and dangerous. Okay, those floorboards right there, anybody could have slipped and got their foot in there, and could have gotten caught. All right, they really could have. But these guys put it all on the line right here in this concrete jungle match. I would never really said this was for the tag team titles and that, but these men brawled with each other, okay? LAX and the OGs had a fucking war out there. I know Conan wasn't really in it. It was a little bit overbooked with him coming out the end, pretty much picking up the win for the team in a way, going at King. But by God, LAX and the OGs really tore it down out there, man. Hernandez's head was just bleeding all over the place. I'll tell you, man, this guy just stretches and tells people to suck it. Was just pretty cool, though. I will say that. But, like I said, these guys just went anything. That double suplex on Hernandez they did looked brutal to watch. Because I thought he could have almost like he was going to go through the ring. Just because, once again, those wooden parts of the floor you got right there was just dangerous. And they put it... And it was out of place, too. Just look at the floor. It looked like someone really could have got caught in there and went through it. But this was a brutal match to watch. It was still a really good match, but this was a very dangerous and brutal match to watch, though. And these guys put it on the line. So you can't... If you say you didn't like that, I don't know what to say about you. This was just crazy. This feud's been going really for a while now. So I don't know when it's going to be over now between LAX and the OGs. Because this is probably one of the best feuds they really had in this company for right now. It's really literally the best feud happening. So I don't know what you can go on from that. Because they dismantled the ring so that they got to clean it up. And I'm sure that's why they put this segment here. The whole alley going to the Undead Realm thing. Now, to what I've seen tonight is like this. There are people that are going to like it. There are people that are going to hate it. And coming into this, I didn't know what to think about this. First off, I thought this whole thing was just trippy and just fucking crazy in general. It was trippy, and even I was going like, what the hell am I watching here? Because, Allie goes into the coffin and meets James Mitchell, saying, your soul remains here until you can find your friend, I guess. And she's carrying a hatchet looking for Su Yung. And I guess one of the bridesmaids had woke up and she attacked the bridesmaid, pretty much killing her. Okay, let me make this straight. Allie was committing murder on TV, even blood splatter on her. So she killed one of the undead bridesmaids, I guess, just murdering them with a hatchet. There was murder on this whole match, or what? I can't even say a match, but segment or something you want to go with. Just murdering her, even seeing herself as one of these things. She pretty much found carried in a casket. Then later on, Su Yung had this giant axe trying to hit Allie with, but they start brawling over it then, even trying to use the hatchet again. They went into some chair. Allie was in the chair then, as she tried to go at Su Yung, but Su Yung hit her with a that mandible claw, that glove thing, and even took some blade and was gonna stab Allie with it, but Allie said, "Your time has come," pretty much killing Su Yung through the neck with some type of knife, stabbing her, putting her back in the chair. So we pretty much seen Allie commit murder on Su Yung. Alright, literally murdered her right there, right now. So, just even leaves then, gets, Kira out the casket, and as they're trying to leave, James Mitchell said, you can go in, but I can't get you out. You have to remain here. Next thing you know, the whole Undead's bridesmaids show up. And then Rosemary makes her return. We haven't seen her in a while now. Which, like I said, Allie was supposed to go and get Kira, I guess, Madison Rayne and Allie's souls from the Undead realm or hell or whatever this is. And we haven't seen Rosemary long. Is Rosemary still hurt though? When is she coming back? I really want to know that. Pretty much Rosemary used her powers or something like lightning to stop the other undead bridesmaids, as she told Allie, and the demon bunny thing told Allie to get out of here, but Allie didn't want to leave her. Su Young came with the whole hatchet in her neck, bleeding all over the place, as Allie and not Allie, but Su Young and Rosemary had these like lightning and fire powers, trying to see who's stronger, as Rosemary told Allie to get out of there, but she got consumed by the other undead bridesmaids, as Allie and Kira pretty much got back to the Earth, or well, since they're out of the undead realm, I guess they're back in the Earth realm then, Mortal Kombat reference. And Kira tried to tell her it was going to be okay, but Allie said some demon voice, it's not being okay. Listen, like I said before, this was trippy, and I know some people have already shitted on this entire segment, but let's be honest with yourselves. Lucha Underground kind of does the same thing, which you watched all the crazy stuff they do and commit murder on there. And you can't really hate on it that much because, come on, let's be honest. This is where the Broken Universe was at with Matt Hardy. And Matt Hardy and that whole Broken thing did a lot of crazy, zany, whacked out, crazy stuff out here. And the people loved it. I didn't think I was going to like it at first because of a lot of CGI effects and, fog and lightning and stuff they were trying to do. But I was entertained by the whole thing, okay? I wasn't really liking it at first, but watching through it, I enjoyed it. I really did. So I'm not gonna actually hate on this whole segment with Allie going to the undead realm thing here. Because if the Hardys have done it, you see Matt Hardy throw fireballs for God's sakes, and drones, and Abyss killed a guy with a giant rock on total non-stop deletion stuff. So yeah, it's not the JB production they had with Jeremy Borash for this segment, but it was still entertaining. Hey, it's October, Halloween is coming up, and I thought this was good. I don't know how the crowd in the building really thought about watching that whole Allie and Su Young thing, and James Mitchell being involved, but I thought it was pretty good. I was kind of laughing at first and everything, but I'm like, what is going on here? Why is Allie going in to kill people with a hatchet? But this is some stuff straight out of Lucha Underground. But I loved it, and I even had a crack out of it at the end. I don't know where this goes next, but I'm not going to sit here and crap on it and say, oh, this is ridiculous, and what is this we're watching, all this supernatural crap and stuff. And I'm sure a lot of people don't want to see that in wrestling, but hey, if the Hardys got away with it in this company before, and Lucha Underground gets away with it, we'll go with the flow on this one. I know people aren't gonna like all that supernatural fire and lightning and going to the dead zone and coming back to get someone's soul, but I did like it later on. Hopefully Rosemary's back soon enough to wrestle again. No. But next thing you know, then they are going back, or what they announced is January 6th, they're going back to Nashville to the Asylum. The event is called Homecoming. So that's going to be coming on January the 6th. Mackenzie Mitchell then talked to Johnny Impact about the whole Aries situation. So, I wouldn't have done this if, they had called me and my wife to face you. But now this is personal. So it wasn't really much from Johnny Impact saying it was personal, being serious and nothing silly. But in the main event of Austin Aries versus Johnny Impact for the World Heavyweight Championship, I will say the announcer said Slam City, and that's Slamtown, USA. Listen, these guys almost pulled almost like a shoot brawl with each other in the beginning at first. These guys were laying in some stiff shots as they were pretty much brawling with each other. Aries already trying to get the last chancery in early, but did not work. But I swear these guys were laying it in really hard on each other, just knocking the fuck out of each other. That was some really stiff shots you heard out there. One thing I did like was when Aries tried to charge into Mundo on the outside of the ring, and Mundo jumped up like it was the freaking Matrix on the barricade and apron so fast, and then just did a freaking moonsault. That was like a cool spot. I don't care anybody says that looked cool. And everything before getting them back in the ring. Aries hit a 450 splash out there. But for a near fall, and then Johnny hitting a Starship Pain, but Aries had grabbed the rope stand at the last second. And I think he had a brain busted in after that, but once there was another near fall, Taya kept jawing at Aries throughout the match as Aries kind of looked on. He did hit Lance Chancery after multiple knee strikes, but Mundo still got the rope stand. And pretty much throughout that, Johnny tried to kick Mundo, not kick Mundo, but kick Aries. But Aries hit a freaking suicide dive on Taya on the outside. I swear Moose and Cross were just there, so they didn't really get involved. But after doing that, Mundo just starts getting pissed, going on Aries. Then hits his own brain buster and hits the Starship Pain for the win, becoming the new World Heavyweight Champion. But unfortunately, this kind of overshadowed it here, though, because literally right after this match ended, Aries just no-sells the whole thing, gets back up, kind of spits at Mundo while he was on the ground, and does like a pretty much a big fuck you to what some say now is Don Callis, because you know the announce team was at the top, so I don't think it was a fan, and just starts cursing up a storm as the show went off the air. Now I don't know if this is a work shoot thing, because listen, going into this feud at first I didn't know what this was gonna be like, but looking in the past few days from the Twitter war and the thing that happened after Abyss's Hall of Fame, where both of these guys just going at it because one was talking shit about the other on TMZ and a lot of F-bombs being dropped. I don't know if this is a work. I don't know if this is a shoot. Some people think Aries is leaving or really has problems with the company like that. Some people call them unprofessional tonight. Just walking, just, literally no-selling the guy's finisher and just walking off right after the match. Like, all right, I did the job, so I'm really pissed now. I'm going to walk away. And, some people think that Aries is doing bad business. I've heard stories in the past that it's hard to work with Austin Aries. That's why they said WWE got rid of him to begin with, because they said it was hard to work with him or something. But I don't know. I honestly don't know what to think about this entire situation. Is it a work? Is it a shoot? Where does this really go? Okay, I'm not even sure. Is Aries still in the company? This does overshadow Johnny Mundo's title win, though. It really does. So I don't really know what to expect after this. Alright, and like I said, it's just been really questionable all night. Is, like I said, some really, because I'm like, if this really is a work, they're working the hell off is really good. Because say one thing, you may not like it, or some people think it was like a Russo work shoot like a thing, but one thing I can give Impact, though, they got people talking about it. Okay, they really got people talking about what happened in this main event. It's been talking about it on Twitter all night, of what the comments I read. Some, like I said, some with Aries, some in that. But I still think it was a stiff match out there with both guys hitting each other real hard at one point throughout time and time. But where do I think they go on from here, though? I don't know. I don't know if Aries is still in the company. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if this is a work. I don't know if this is a shoot. But they have really made this thing up the ante very legit in the past couple days now. They really have, and has been enjoyable with him and Impact. Making it very legit. And like I said, it almost reminded me, that whole press conference or whatever thing almost reminded me of the whole Jericho and Omega thing back early in the year, Wrestle Kingdom. So, some people think that Aries could be like Alberto, do the press conference and just do business on his own and leave, but I don't know where this is going. I don't know if it's a work shoot in that, but like I said, the guy just no-sold the finish and just got up and cursed out everyone and Callis and left after that. So I don't really know where this is going, alright? This was a confusing ending. Like I said before, it was a pretty good show. I thought it was very solid and everything on some of the matches. Like, the matches I really enjoyed was the Concrete Jungle match. I actually did like the opener. I did like the main event, other than the entire controversial finish of, is it a shoot? Is it a work? So I'm a little bit in the gray area of that right now, if it really is a shoot or a work. Because even, like I said, I don't even know what's going on from here. I really did enjoy the Tesla versus Taya match. I thought it was one of the most better matches of the night, if you ask me, for my opinion. So I did enjoy that, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this. They didn't like the whole Su Yung, and Ali going to the Undead Realm thing going on. But hey, we had to see Rosemary back, and yeah, it was crazy. But like I said before, if the Hardys have done crazy stuff like this before, and Lucha Underground, I'm going to give this a slide, and it's October. It's in the month of Halloween. I think I already said the main event, like I said, liking the match, and then the whole shoot thing happening at the end. I did enjoy OVE and Pentagon Phoenix and Brian Cage. Even though it was a spot fest, I still thought it was really good, and the people did enjoy it, though. They chanted 205 and Impact and Mundo, though. That was kind of crazy. One thing I didn't really like was the whole Moose and Eddie Edwards thing, just because it was an impromptu tag match. Still a good brawl, but I probably would have seen a one-on-one. It would have been crazy if actually Davey Richards came out, but I think he's on medical school last time I remember. He left wrestling to begin with to pursue his other career right now, so I don't really see him coming back anytime soon. Uh, the Eli Drake Open Challenge thing, I didn't like that really. At first, it was kind of funny just because the Ellsworth, but then it's like, it was like a good bad thing, and I had to say to myself, Austin Aries, but Eli Drake really needs to be doing something way better on this show than what he is already doing on this show right now. But overall, I think it was a really good show of, Bound for Glory tonight. Like I said before, it was way better than last year's Bound for Glory. Last year's Bound for Glory was just garbage last year. It really was. But this was a way better show tonight. Like I said before, do I think it was better than Slammiversary? Not really, but I still think they put on a very good, solid show. And, I'm hoping, and I know some people say this is to get buzz and everything, but, the company is, moved time slots on Pop TV to a later time, which is not really good, and that on the prime time at 7 o'clock. I've been hearing that, they're supposed to be having these new TV deals. I hope they do have a new channel they go to. I really hope they do, because they've actually been really doing good this year in this company, and I hope they do since, their contract with Pop TV is running out. I would say they could go back to Spike, or AKA the Paramount Network right now, but I'm not sure where Impact will go when their TV deal ends, but I know it's been low ratings and everything right now. Most likely people say it's due to the football games every Thursday night. That's what's kind of drawing the very low rating ship right now. So that could be the reason, really, but I'm not even sure. But that's one of the reasons to what I've heard, though. Really, with their TV deal right now, if they're gonna be going to another channel than Pop TV, but they really do need to increase the ratings, though. I would say that, but then again, like I said. Kind of losing train of focus right there. But, what was I talking about? The whole Pop TV situation. Yeah, the whole Pop TV thing, if they can find a new channel they can be on. Really, because they really do need it, though. Okay, they really do need to be on a different channel so people actually watch the show instead of have to go into the internet all the time, really, when regarding to watching the Impact. So I know people saying they're in a bad spot with the whole TV deal and moving to a different time slot. So hopefully they move to a better TV deal and have a really good time slot. Maybe it's 7 o'clock as usual, or 8 o'clock, whenever that happens. But, like I said, Bound for Glory itself, I thought this was a very good, solid show. I will say that. I really did. But mostly a lot of people are going to be talking about the main event. That's one of the main things people will be talking about. Mostly after with Austin Aries and where does he lie in this company, or what just happened, if this is a work or shoot and that. So I'm sure a lot of people are going to be talking about that entire finish, though, tomorrow or tonight, or whenever whoever talks about it throughout the week of how this goes. But like I said, overall, I enjoyed the show. I really had a good night watching this. I hope the tapings are better for this. And like I said, I hope they had found a better TV deal, because even I'm like 9 o'clock next week. And like I said, for a lot of people say it's not a good sign moving the time slots like that to a later show, a later date on the show, or whatever time span it's in, 2 hours later after 7 o'clock hour. But like I said, overall good pay-per-view. Really enjoyed it. Solid. But I am out of here. I'll see you guys later. Peace, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think about my Bound for Glory 2018 review. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you think the show was really good? Did you think it was really bad? Tell me what your opinions are on the show. So like I said, comment and subscribe. Master Price 890. You know what to do from there. I am out of here. I will see you guys later. Peace out.